first of all, thank you so much for coming on board. The whole point of today's session, what we're going to do is just going to actually speak about your business, how to go from 0 to 10K and 20K per month. Now, full disclosure to people that are watching this video, Abby is one of my students. We started working, what was it, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago. We're already making quite good progress, but obviously there is still a lot of things to do, which I'm really, really excited about. But I think it was good to actually have a conversation with you because you're at those starting stages right now that a lot of other people may potentially be as well. So I think this would be quite a good conversation. But for those of you that don't know what Abby does, what do you do? What are you trying to accomplish? Who do you help? All that sort of stuff. Tell us.
Yeah, cool. So, I recently transitioned into helping women who are entrepreneurs that have a coaching business,
Mm-hmm.
to help them scale it in a way that is sustainable and that they enjoy it, whilst
Mm-hmm.
also creating impact. Um, the reason why I'm really passionate about this is because what I realized when I had my own offer, my own coaching business, in Amazon FBA, what
Mm-hmm.
I realized was whenever I worked with people, they always built in a way that wasn't sustainable, in a way that just left me trapped on endless calls. And ultimately, it was gonna, if I continued, it would have affected my delivery with the students that enrolled with me. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm really passionate about it.
Cool. So you're new to this space, but you're not necessarily new to the coaching space. You've done coaching before. How much coaching experience do you have in the Amazon FBA space?
So, I started in January 2024. So, that was like the
Yeah,
first time I ever
fine.
coached anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
It started off with like an ebook. So, I sold
Mm-hmm.
an ebook. And then the ebook, I remember in one day, it got like £700, and that was majority profit coming
Mm-hmm.
from Amazon, where 700 in revenue, you're left with like maybe £50 profit. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. Yeah, literally. So
Yeah.
I was like, I can see the potential with this, and people wanted a lot more intimate help. By the end of the January 2024, I took people on for actual one-on-one coaching.
Mm-hmm. So are you comfortable in sharing your numbers when it comes to the Amazon FBA coaching? Like roughly how much were you making per month in like your best months?
Yeah, that's fine. So on average, it would normally be around like my best month would probably be around like the 12 to 15K. That was probably like my best months.
Mm-hmm.
I would hover on the 10K mark,
Mm-hmm.
10K months,
Mm-hmm.
or I would on like a very like for transparency, on a bad month, it would
Mm-hmm.
probably be around like the 6K, the 6K.
Mm-hmm.
I had one
Okay.
really, really bad month, which was like 3K, which was awful, but it
Yeah.
would normally be around the 6K on like a bad month with like no consistency.
Yeah. But what's amazing is that 12K, it doesn't sound like a lot when people are throwing these big numbers around, but people have to realize that 80, 90% of it is profit. So even though the
Yeah.
number is not that great, like if that lands into your bank account, the only thing that you have to worry about is taxes. Hence why I'm in Dubai. Anywho, so now going forward, that we've moved away from Amazon FBA. First of all, how did it feel moving away from what would a lot of people consider a successful business, doing anything between 10 to 12K per month, to all of a sudden going, I'm guessing, to zero?
Yeah. Um, it felt exciting because
Okay.
this is the thing, like I would never recommend someone to just transition if they haven't got any sort of security. So, for example, this first month that I'm doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting paid, and I was okay with that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not acting in a way of desperation. Like my first thing is value, but that's because I saved. So it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm really starting from zero. So I think it was more exciting because with my Amazon business, it was the first time I'd ever started Amazon business was out of survival, and then
Sure.
the coaching business wasn't intentional. Like it was just really an accident.
Yeah.
So I think this is really exciting and more intentional, which I really, really enjoy.
Got it. And what I like about this is that people can smell it on you. People can smell the desperation on you when you're just trying to serve whoever and whoever. Hence why when we were speaking on WhatsApp, I think it was like a week ago, you actually sent to me a message. You were like, you know what? I really don't want to work with this person. Like they just don't align with me. And I was just like, that is such a powerful thing to say because it will actually, by you turning away clients, sometimes that will build your reputation even better and they will come back with you and actually want to work with you even more and be like, well, why don't you want to work with me? But anyways, so now that you've been doing this for a month, I know that you've been getting a little bit of traction. You started doing YouTube, like you're taking so much action, which is absolutely amazing. How have you got any clients so far and how have you got them? That's like the big question.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, decided to go with the strategy of working completely free
Mm-hmm.
for, it was six, but then obviously I said how it didn't really align with one person, so it's five.
Yep.
So I'm working with five, and it's completely free. And I've just said to them at the end of the month, if you are happy with the value and you feel like, this is something you want to work together a long time,
Yep.
then that's something. Which
Yep.
is so funny because one of the one of the people that I'm working with, she'd already asked like about payment and she wants to know more about it. And I have a meeting with her next week. So that's
Yeah.
something I'm gonna discuss with her next week, because I actually really, really enjoyed working with her anyways, and everything aligned. And I could see progress in the short time working together.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say there's one potential, and then other than that, everyone else, because it's only been like it's halfway their journey, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the real work is coming, because the first 2 weeks is like finding out what they do, clarity, because someone can say something, but I'm like, I have no clue what that means. So yeah, getting really clear.
That's when the messages to me come in and be like, hey, what should I come back to this? Which is totally fine, of course. How do you find right now having the first few clients? I'm happy that you're doing it for free. I mean, that was what we discussed in the very beginning. Do you feel the pressure and stuff? Because I feel like that was the right approach for us, because it kind of feels like we're not taking we're taking one step back to take two steps forward. We're not trying to make money from day one, so to speak, which is contrary to most people's opinions. How do you feel coaching now in a brand new field that you haven't got that much experience in?
So what was the question? Sorry, like how much?
Yeah. So how do you feel right now coaching in a completely different field, like in a completely new field? How is it different to Amazon FBA?
Um, Honestly, I enjoy it. I feel so much more fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you, and I was telling my friend and my mom, in fact, that although this month I was very used to having a lot of cash flow coming in, whether that was my Amazon business, whether that was a coaching. I was very used to that and very comfortable. But
Mm-hmm.
this month, I guess you could say it's more uncomfortability, but I felt so much more happy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
So I think it's because it's something different, as I said, and I'm stemming it not from a root of desperation. It's something of
Mm.
out of passion and out of like actual conviction, because
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of people that have a coaching business for something that they don't even truly believe in, a product or service. And I didn't ever want to do that. I feel like there's so much alignment, and the people I meet as well isn't so much alignment, because I'm obviously putting that energy out there.
Yeah, cool. All right. So with that being said, now I feel like people got an idea of what you do and who you're trying to help, and you're trying to help women and all that sort of stuff. Let's go to the actual value of this call, essentially. So first things first, that actually before this call, I looked at your Instagram profile, I looked at your YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So on your YouTube and your Instagram, you say the following: I am on a mission to help 1,000 ambitious women create coaching businesses they love and truly impact the world. Sounds great. I think it actually sounds clear. However, have you ever heard the idea that people are far more willing to avoid pain as opposed to seek pleasure? Meaning, we are far more upset by losing £100 than if somebody gave us £100. So, what I mean by that with your IG profile, I think it's great, but I think it's missing one key piece. Do you know what that piece is?
The pain factor?
Exactly. So the pain being, if you're going to help 1,000 ambitious women creating coaching businesses, what pain are you alleviating from them? What could they potentially avoid by working with you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I agree.
For example, if we look back on our both Amazon FBA days, we would help people start off their own Amazon FBA businesses so they don't spend time and thousands of pounds finding products that may not work, and they lose a lot of money. So we are avoiding the loss of money. Whereas here we can potentially introduce something like avoiding wasting time on various, or avoiding posting on social media that may not necessarily work out and may not attract your ideal clients. So I would, first things first, I would suggest potentially to look more into your description, which is like 80% there, and put in that pain that helps, that you are helping to avoid. So then that makes your description, your offer, that much more compelling.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
I'll take a note. I think something, sorry to interrupt. I think
Mhm.
something like without like, so the pain points from when I've worked with people was um drowning in like one-on-one calls, sales calls. I think something along those lines. Would you recommend one or two, by the way?
I would say one biggest pain point. So right now, I'm so happy that you already have clients. One of my questions going forward right now would be like, what is your biggest struggle with this coaching business that you're building right now? What is it? Is it lack of clarity? Is it spending too much time? Is it what are you trying to avoid as much? And then you are not going to come up with the idea yourself and put into your description. You will actually hear it from the market. I am which is why I'm like such a big proponent of getting clients for free because believe it or not, and I think I told you this before, they will teach you more than you will teach them. Like you will get
Yeah.
content ideas from them, you will get an idea for your lead magnets, you'll get an idea for your landing pages, your descriptions, everything, because they're the ideal people. Like this idea of this video right now from me came from you because you said you find these videos useful. So I am listening to you, the market, and therefore I'm providing hopefully something that other people will find valuable as well. Same thing you have to do with your students, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next time you speak with them, be like, listen, what am I like? What is your biggest pain right now that you're going through right now? And then in the back of your mind, think, how can I change my description to hit that, press on that pain a little bit more so people can relate to it a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
That's the first
Yeah.
thing. The second thing is, I looked at your Instagram and I looked at your YouTube, and there was one thing missing that I just couldn't find anywhere. Calendly.
I knew this was coming. Yeah. This one that I was thinking about. So you remember when we first met, I had a lead magnet, right? And it was like a little guide. But I started feeling like, so at that point I hadn't worked with anybody. So I was like, I feel like I'm basing this off what I think. So I was like, let me take this off. And then right now, because I'm working with these clients, I was like, I don't know. I was scared to put a Calendly link, honestly. It was on the back of my mind, and I was actually gonna bring it up to you, like, do you feel like I should? But then I
Why?
wasn't sure if I should take that step or if I should just have like a quiz lead magnet. I wasn't sure.
A simple question. What have you got to lose by putting it on?
It's true. Nothing.
You're potentially leaving money on the table. There could be literally people right now wanting to work with you. Yes, our audiences are small. Yes, you're just starting out. But your funnel essentially is this: Instagram, push people to YouTube. YouTube pushes people to Instagram. And it's just a circle. There is no funnel. You just have a little circle going on, and that's it. The only way that I could potentially think about how to get in contact with you is, hey, I will follow you on Instagram, hope that you will follow me back so then I can DM you so it doesn't go to the message request, it actually goes to the primary inbox where you will hopefully see my message that I want to work with you. Can you see how it's a lot of effort, number one, it's a lot of friction on that, number two, whereas a Calendly link would just be easy. And you know what, on the Calendly link, just put up a couple of questions. Number one, ask for their phone number so you figure out whether it's from the US, from the UK or Europe, or Nigeria and India or Pakistan, so you figure out whether or not that call is worth taking. Secondly, ask for their social media to see if they're a real person or if there's a 12-year-old kid, so to speak. And then third, are they interested in coaching and stuff like that, or they just want free value? Those simple three questions, you don't have to have like a big questionnaire or anything like that, will help you vet what course to take and which one's not. But you're just making life a lot easier. Like I see with a lot of students out there, and I look at their profiles and I look at their funnels from a customer's perspective, and I realize like, fuck me, like this is hard. Like how am I supposed to? I want to work with you. Take my money, please. And it's a difficult thing to do. So that's that. So I think another thing to think of, simple, just set up a Calendly link. That's it. Okay. I think that alone can easily, with the right content structure, can get people to 10K per month with no lead mags or anything like that, or no employees or no ads or anything like that. But anyways, so moving on. One of the things that I really proud to kind of say is that I come from humble beginnings. I come from a family that came from Soviet Union, all that sort of stuff. That is what makes me different to all the other coaches out there, is my story, my background as to, and also why you, for example, wanted to work with me is because we have that Amazon FBA thing in common, so to speak. So you kind of know exactly what we've been through. What's your story? I've watched some of your YouTube videos and stuff. All I see is value, 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 but why should I choose you as opposed to 50 other female coaches out there?
Yeah.
You go, oh, go on.
I mean, in summary, like my story was working jobs, like agency,
Mm-hmm.
retail jobs, doing that continuously. Then I think I have one video on this actually on my, it's all the way at the bottom. That's probably why you missed it. But it's only one, so anybody can miss it. And then I also got into trying to be like a lash technician.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that whilst I was in uni. So I stayed at home and I didn't go into university on purpose so that I could save money and invest because I knew I wanted to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was using that to become a lash technician. I did that for a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, I'm using so much of my time and I just didn't enjoy it. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me go into something else. And then I found reselling products which aligned perfectly, which was Amazon. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to have a social media. I don't need to do anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have to learn marketing. It was just such a great beginner friendly business model.
Yeah.
And then I got into that. And then fast forward, whilst I was in that, sorry, I was also still working and juggling uni and my job and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, sorry, just to add a little side note,
Mm-hmm.
I was someone that I was the only child. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt weird asking for any sort of money or help. It's probably been years since I've
Yeah.
ever done that. So that was really important for me to always have some sort of security because
Mm-hmm.
I had a job since I was like 16.
Yeah.
So I always just wanted to make sure I had that. And also when I lived with my dad, if I broke even a glass by accident, he would make me pay for it. So I was very used to, okay, I've got to make sure that everything I've just always got to make sure that I have money and stuff like that and
Right.
resources. So yeah,
Why is that do you understand how relatable that story is of coming out of university and not knowing what you want to do with your life, trying various different jobs just to realize that this is not for you, that you're actually meant for more, that you're more of an entrepreneur, so to speak, figuring out what works and what doesn't, stumbling up across something. These sorts of stories, in my opinion, you should, for an hour or so, have 3 to 5 stories that you essentially kind of put it this way, it sums up who you are as a person. When we think about Iman Ghazi, we know about their back end story. When we think about Alex Hormozi, we think their backstory. They're coming from fitness, sleeping on the gym floor, failing 7 times and all that sort of stuff, meeting Layla and all that sort of stuff. With yourself, having looked at your content so far is just value, value, value. We have somebody in common right now, Tinu, one of my other students right now. The reason why she closes so well and the reason why she does so well, and I know this because I've actually spoken to some of her students, is because she has church, she has religion, she has more than just the value of property. She actually speaks much more about herself as a person. And I think that's really missing from you. Think about it. Like some of these things right now, like, yes, we have to think about strategy from a overall perspective, like how to get more offers, how to get more clients, and so on and so forth. But what is that connection, that missing piece? And the trouble is right now with the world of AI, everybody sounds fucking the same. Everybody uses the same scripts. Everybody posts the same fucking videos. So if you can just relate to people, like I can't imagine like how many women out there right now who just left finished university and potentially thinking of becoming a hairdresser, a lash technician, because that's the only thing that they enjoy and they're good at. And but they feel like they want to make more.
yeah,
That could
it's true.
potentially be your target market late down the line. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And people don't buy because of tactics. They buy how you make them feel. So I agree.
Exactly.
Like even when for Amazon, whenever we would ask why they bought, it would never be anything to do that was of quote unquote value. It would
Yeah.
normally be
Yeah.
related to the actual person, which was me.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And right now we need to develop that once again for your new offer and new business. Speaking of going forward, we touched on a little bit of lead magnets. What lead magnet have you got right now? Because I didn't see anything.
I took it off. I don't have a lead magnet. I actually took it off. I know
Why?
it's better to have one than nothing. Okay, cool. The reason why I took that off was because I started overthinking and I just was like, I made this based on what I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So I was started overthinking, being honest, and I was like, I don't want to give out something that maybe this part like other people can't even relate to this. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the reason why, and I haven't got round to actually making one
Mm-hmm.
again. What I do want to do, like moving forward, is definitely do like a quiz lead magnet. I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
that with one of my clients, and that's been very helpful
Mm-hmm.
because on the other end for the person, it's a lot more fun, interactive, and then they get to the end and they get like a some sort of bonus,
Yeah.
um, and you get a lot of information as well.
Yeah. So, okay. So, first things first with the lead magnets. Yeah. Please don't do like a fucking PDF or some nonsense that nobody's ever going to read. So it has to be useful, it has to be good, and ideally it has to alleviate some sort of problem or at least answer some sort of question. So it has to be valuable, basically. When it comes to the quiz right now, did you use it via Typeform? Was it a score app? Like what platform did you use?
Typeform.
Okay, fine. And in the Typeform, do you, when you essentially launch that lead magnet, which hopefully you will, do you collect people's emails and phone numbers or just emails?
Both emails and phone number. But I put like we will not spam you, like just a little thing, a little thing.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, I feel comfortable giving my phone number.
Sure, sure. And when they give you their phone number, what do you do? Or what's the
So
plan?
okay, yeah. So the plan with her, so I have a meeting with her at 3, is
Mm-hmm.
my closer that I had for my Amazon offer. She was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a meeting with her yesterday, explained to her this offer, what that
Mm-hmm.
looks like, XYZ, pricing wise, and she said that she'll be more than happy to jump on
Mm-hmm.
and do closing.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do is so we put different price points as well. One of the questions was how much would you be willing to invest?
Mm-hmm.
So there was different price points, and on the higher price point, it was like 30% of her audience was actually willing to invest £1,000 plus, considering she used to have her highest offers like £300,
Yeah.
which was like a lifetime program access to her. It was awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we want to do now is start like messaging. So the closer is going to start messaging those people because they're more of a priority. However, people that was secondary from that price point range, I'm thinking that it's still good to message and communicate with them just to probably get a bit more information, and also um to get more information. And also I have this thing that I don't always believe price is really a real objection. I
No.
think sometimes it's in that quiz, for example, maybe we just didn't uncover the value as much or as well, and that's just all it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever people say, "Oh yeah, it's too expensive," that what it actually means is that I don't see enough value in this. That's what it is. So
Yeah.
therefore, you have to explain the value. There's so much more. The one thing that I would add to this is that whenever you get people's emails, great emails are amazing. But if you do get their phone number, call them up, speak, actually get either yourself to call them up first or potentially employ a part-time person to call them up, because the quicker you reach out to somebody on a call, the more likely you are to book a call and the more likely you are to close them. I found that firsthand. And if you leave these people behind, if you just completely forget about them, or you call them 3 4 days later, they'll be like, Ben who, what did I sign up for? Whereas when they sign up there and then, they have much more it's much more fresh in their mind, that they're buying interest is much higher. So later down the line, once we scale past the 10K per month mark, I think we're going to have a few people working for you, so to speak, that will, their sole job would be like there. Once a lead comes through, they will go on a call straight away and try to book an appointment with you. So that's
Yeah,
something
that
to go forward. What have you thought about your email marketing strategy?
I have, and I got really overwhelmed. So when I had when full context, when I had my Amazon coaching business, I
Mm-hmm.
always had outsourced that part.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to learn it, and I felt a bit overwhelmed because I'm just unsure, where do I start? Do I start with my story? Do I start with breaking limiting beliefs? Honestly, I just felt overwhelmed about the
Yeah,
whole thing.
no. I believe emails is the best place to write your story. Not just to write your story, but also keep you updated with what's going on. And not even the good stuff that's going on, but also the bad stuff, the struggles, the not, like when you're not sure, when you're potentially failed, and so on and so forth. People will actually be interested in to read to you. Just please, under any circumstances, don't put into ChatGPT to write up an email for you and use that as an email marketing. For me, email marketing is actually one of like, it's weird, but I will say like it's good for the soul. I wrote a few emails recently about moving to Dubai. I wrote a few emails about looking for a place to live and how expensive it is and how much do you actually save in taxes when the rent is so high. Like nothing to do with coaching, nothing to do with selling, anything like that. It's just building that connection with people who have already given me their personal details. So when it comes to email marketing, 80% story, 70% story, 30% value, because they're getting enough value from social media as it is already. And
Yeah.
you will be amazed at how many responses you'll start to get once your subscriber list goes past like 500 people. And the open rates are going to be much higher and so on. What's amazing with email marketing as well, given that you haven't done it before yourself, is that you can test subject lines. You can test the body of the email as to what people are much more interested in reading. There's much more data to get. Again, something really, really useful. And I think if you actually want to use AI, just go on ChatGPT and put in what is the most powerful platform to close clients on. And you can put in YouTube, LinkedIn, emails, and all that sort of stuff. And it will always tell you emails convert the best.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and
I
and
know that's yeah.
yeah, so it's think about it. When you get a bank statement, does it go to your Instagram DMs? No.
No.
When you book a plane ticket, does it go to your WhatsApp? No, it goes to your emails. So people's mentality is very different when they go on and read their emails. They're in that buying mode, so to speak. They take them a lot more seriously, so to speak. So I can't stress enough like how important that is. And I think that will be for me and you to work on month 2 month, the sooner the better. To be honest, the sooner the better. Next question would be: have you thought about your offer, the paid offer that you will start charging people?
Yeah. I thought about it and I'm still thinking about it
Mm-hmm.
because you already know with offers there's so many different ways you can take and it's just up to you as the person.
Mm-hmm.
Um this is gonna sound a bit like backwards, but what I really want to do is okay, this is gonna sound backwards.
Okay.
I want it to be a thing where I don't take a lot of people so I can really dive in with the people I work with. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what I really, really want to do. I think probably because of coming from Amazon and having
Mm-hmm.
like 10, 15 people at once was
Mm-hmm.
a headache and it's just harder to give them the best result that I would want. So I
Mm-hmm.
really want to, and also as I learn the skill as well, because I'm still learning on the go
Yeah.
essentially. That's what I want to do. And regarding price point, yeah, this is I've been struggling with this because I feel like month one goes really quick. So I'm like, 3 months to me is a bit too quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I want it to be like 6 months working together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then 6 months, that's another thing. Like, because right now, this is the problem. I'm also because I'm obviously somewhat over delivering. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also doing stuff on the like back end. So it's like done for you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taking up time. And I'm like, I want it to be something that I actually want to show up for.
Mm-hmm.
So pricing right now, I've been thinking around like the 3.5K ish.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm looking at the
How,
moment. But
how did you come to that figure?
the thing is, I've paid for 3 months worth of coaching before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like essentially like touching 10K, basically 10K. And then I'm like, and they've been in it for years. And I'm just like, oh, if I do 3.5, surely that's so much value. Like they will get 10x more definitely by the
Mm-hmm.
end of the 6 months, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I've tried to work it out like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So when it comes to pricing your offer, there are essentially three things that I kind of look at. Number one is what can they afford? So if you're going to go for a target market of like 21, 22 year olds, 3.5 grand for 3 to 6 months is going to be quite a lot of money for somebody that's doesn't have a stable job. So you usually want to go for people that are slightly older, that's got more disposable income. Secondly, you also want to go for a price point where you don't feel like if somebody buys from you, you're like, ah, shit. Now I have like it needs to feel like you deserve that money and you are happy to provide that service at that price, whatever that may be to
Yeah.
you. And then last but not least, also, I believe, and this is kind of how I see it, is that whatever the value that I can provide, I usually want to charge around 10 to 50% of it. For example, if I right now working with you, starting at zero, we're working together for a whole year, I believe I can bring around 100K in a whole year minimum for you as a revenue. Given that's the case, given that I'm taking you from zero to 100K in the first full year, I think it's quite sensible for me to charge around 10 to 15% of that.
Mhm.
And I think for anybody, when you think about it, when you put it in that terms, is like, hey, I'm quite confident I'm going to get you 100K. That's 10 to 15 grand. Like anybody with their right mind would spend 10 to 15 grand to make 100. So
Yeah.
therefore, as long as you correlate the price to the actual value to how much you provide, then that makes a lot more sense. But then it comes into like who your target audience is, because again, if your target is younger people, then they may not see as much value, and therefore you can't charge as much. Hence why everybody says, and I completely agree, is you want to go for the richer folks, the middle class and upper class people, to charge as much as you possibly can so they can extract as much value as possible. One more thing that I've realized as well very recently, and something that another one friend of mine have told me, is the demographic. Who do you target? That's really important as well. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I think yesterday when I was speaking to you, I really want to target USA, like US clients, also business owners. So that was something I took into consideration because someone that works a 9 to 5 in comparison, sorry,
Mhm.
to someone that's a business owner, they will look at money very differently.
Yeah.
So I was like straight away, whatever price point I give, they're probably gonna base it off, okay, all I need to do is get 3 clients, for
Yeah.
example. It's very different in comparison to, oh, I'm gonna work 40 hours a week, this and that. It will feel like more of a loss for someone that's a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I think they can just see more of it as like more of a payoff.
Yeah. The best way to put it that I found is that there are three demographics, and this may piss off some people, but I'll say it anyway. The US people say that this is an investment in my education, in my business. UK people tend to see it as a cost, and it's a risk
Yeah.
that they're taking on you. Whereas the third world countries, the Pakistan, India, Nigeria, and all those, sorts, unfortunately cannot afford it. So, who would you rather work out of those three categories? I would rather work with the people that see it as an investment in their self improvement, so to speak. So that was a big eye opener for me because from Amazon FBA, you're kind of stuck with the UK because everything is in the UK based. But now that we both moved away from it, I think it makes sense to target the demographic that has the amount of money and also the right attitude for it. And it can make a difference between making 10K per month, making 40K per month, because the sales calls are different, everybody's different, and I'm going to tell you some of the stories off air, but some of the people that are willing to do in order to get onto the coaching program is absolutely insane. It just blows your mind of how cooperative and willing they are to actually invest in themselves because they do see the ROI. Last but not least, the last question for today. As of right now, do you think what's the biggest bottleneck for you and your businesses right now?
The biggest bottleneck. I think it's gonna be very clear. It's me being clear on what I want to deliver.
Mm,
Um, I think that's what it is because right now it's free and I'm doing everything. I'm figuring out exactly what I want to do. If it's more done with you, if
yeah,
it's done for you. Um,
yeah,
that's what I'm really trying to figure out, honestly.
yeah,
Um, because
yeah.
I know done for you, it's gonna be me that's reliant on everything. And I know I could outsource, but
Mhm,
even that, I'm very scared of like relying on agencies because
mhm,
if they do a bad job, that's attached to my name.
yeah,
So yeah, I guess it's that, to be honest. That's
yeah.
the next big thing.
I would say, yeah, with the bottleneck, I think is just lack of experience right now. And I think you need to work with your clients just a little bit more to realize what you enjoy doing the most. Not necessarily what may bring you the most amount of money. You may actually find out that, you know what, done for you service sucks. It might make you more money, but it's 10 times more headache because you have to deal with all of these contractors. You might as well just coach people instead, make less, but you are a one-man band. It's just so much easier. So I think the lack of experience. And then secondly, get the bloody Calendly link on, dude. Like, that has to come on there as well. That's like a little bottleneck. Hey, find a way for people to reach out to you. But that's pretty much it then. Thank you so much for today's call. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you found it valuable, insightful as well. There is so much that we're going to be doing with you in the next few months. Like, I can't wait. But the progress that you've made over the last just 2 weeks alone is further than what I would have done on my own when I was starting out. Because a lot of people just tend to think, oh, I need to charge people from day one. But when you don't have testimonials, you don't have referrals, you don't have any reputation, who on earth is going to pay you 5 grand when you have nothing to show for it? So I think
I agree.
yeah, I think you're going about it the right way. And I think a few months from now will be like, you know what, that was the right strategy to use when you have 10 testimonials and now you can charge premium prices and work with the people that you really want to work with.
Yeah, I agree. I think doing this way as well has released that pressure of me
Yeah.
feeling like, oh my gosh, they paid me money and now they're asking me questions. I'm not sure. But right now it's like, oh, Abigail's actually learning on the go
Yeah.
and she's helping me at the same time.
Yeah.
And if I want to work with her afterwards and see the value, then I will. I think, yeah, I really like this approach. Honestly, I had no problem
Yeah.
doing it, and I think, as they say, like success leaves clues. I think someone like Alex Hormozy, I'm pretty sure, had worked for free for people as well. He said that in his story. A lot of people have done
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
an effective strategy.
Yeah. The problem is that on social media, people follow like, oh, you're going to make 20, 30K in the next 90 days and so on. So obviously it would make sense to charge from day one. But yeah, that just doesn't work that way. People are a lot more smart than people assume. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time. And then we'll speak soon. All right.